Hello, this is Melvin Rogers. It's Saturday, October 2nd, 2020, 3 p.m. and I'm going to put my alternator back in, which I already took out and got replaced. It's for as you see, a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I will show you on the side where it says Grand Cherokee Laredo. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to reinstall this. I will show you what it looks like right now with the alternator out. I did not remove anything except the battery, and took off the pulley and pulled out the alternator. The belt is still on, as you see. I did not have to take the serpentine belt off. There's my wires right here that I have got to put back on. Battery cables. And as you get a better view, there's where it goes with the pulley hanging for the belt. And I do not have to do anything to get the belt off except for the tensioner right down here. I just got to unloosen that bolt, and right here behind the water pump, and beside the water pump and the power steering unit, there's a bracket that comes off the power steering unit. There's a bolt. You unloosen that after you take off your tensioner. You loosen your tensioner, and then you get your socket, and you go and take that out, unwind it until there's no tension on the belt, and you just slip your alternator belt right off, and your serpentine belt is still on, and you don't have to worry about putting it all back on with all that funny crazy wiring. That the housing they have it in is monotonous and frustrating, and you will cuss and everything else. So here's the easiest way to do it. I've looked on videos on YouTube, and everybody wants you to go and pull out the battery tray, take this out, take that out. I took out, as you see, here's where the radiator hose goes. I took it off just with a pair of pliers, set it off to the side so I can access the alternator. So I'm going to show you step by step putting this back in. I will be pausing it here and there to put the parts on because I have no way to hold my phone up. And here we go. It does not take long. Mine has 4 bolts on the back. These are for the voltage regulator. And this one here is for the main power. So I will show you how this all comes together. $90 amp starter. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here's the alternator. I just took off all the bolts, so that way I can just hook everything up. Here's what it looks like with all the nuts off. The bracket for the voltage regulator, where it goes in for the power for the regulator. And there's the took off for the bolt for the main power. It sits down in this little boot looking thing that's all hard plastic. and I have sitting out, which is your best way to do this. You're only going to use a couple tools. Okay, these little ones here, your big bolts, your mounting bracket bolts are 15 millimeters. These little gold plated ones are a 11/32, and then your big one, the other two bolts, two screws, are a 10, and that's the same for your main. And here I'll show you the socket.